Hi everybody. So today I'm going to do a review of the Day-by-Day Chronological Bible. So this will have daily readings guided by Dr. George Guthrie. It is the CSB translation. This one is in the brown Leathertouch. So it comes in a nice two-piece box. Mine got damaged in shipping, so I do have to tape mine up. But that's fine. The Bible inside was okay. Alright, so I'm going to hold this right here in case you'd like to pause and read that top section. And then we've got an example of the layout, and it goes over the features as far as there being 52 weeks of readings. It's all going to be chronological order. Scripture will be presented in 3 main acts. There's going to be a single column text. Now, one thing it does say that there's a concordance, and there is not a concordance, so I haven't seen anyone mention that yet. So we do have a sewn binding, presentation page, and full color maps. So there's the ISBN number. Retail is $39.99. Some sites right now have it as low as $19.99, and other sites about $26. So you can definitely get it for less online. Now this particular Bible measures out at 9 3/8 inches tall by 7 inches wide, and it is 1 3/4 inches thick. So we've got 2 ribbon markers, nice head and tail bands. The gilding on this is very nice. So it's got a nice shiny gilding, almost looks kind of like it has almost like a light glitter in it, which I'm not sure if it does, but very shiny, very pretty. And then this one is going to be in the brown Leathertouch. So really a pretty pattern on this. So looks like leather. You can see that grain on there, but we've got all that stitching along the perimeter. We've got a neat design there in the center, the way they've done that. But really pretty. It's got a nice feel. You don't feel like you're going to drop it, even though it's kind of a bigger Bible. On the spine, we've got the CSB True North logo. Day-by-Day Chronological Bible. We've got another embossed design there. Christian Standard Bible and Holman. And then we've got that tooling on there. So really a pretty Bible. I think they did a great job. I'm continuing to be impressed with all the different imitation leathers that all the publishers are doing, because they have a really nice feel to it, plus they look really nice. So this one here is going to be a paper paste down liner, which we would definitely expect in a $40 Bible. We're going to have a presentation page. Then we'll get into our title page. So this one, you can get this one in the brown Leathertouch or a paperback. This one is printed in Korea. So there's the ISBN numbers for the two. Then we're going to have our contents. So it's going to go over the different acts. So again, there's going to be 3 different acts with a total of 17 scenes. We're going to have an introduction to the CSB. So if you get one and you've never read the CSB, you definitely want to read this. We're going to have an introduction. So this will go over how the Bible is one big story, basically, and how it all fits together. So it'll go over the grand story of the Bible and how all 66 books weave together. So that's really neat. And then it will give you some tips on here. So it'll say read at a specific time and place each day, and do so until it becomes a habit. So that's a great idea. I read during the week, I read in the evenings before bed, and on the weekends I read in the morning when I get up. Then it goes over always keep the big story in view. Don't get bogged down in the passages you don't understand. You can always go back to them later, but as you get further and further into it, things will make a little bit more sense. Goes over reading in community with others, and then pick up tools to help you read the Bible better. So this is a really good introduction. Then, so we get into our first act. So we've got a nice shade with the paper, the pretty color. So this one's going to be God's plan for all people. So the page here on the left is going to go over the setting for Act 1, the main characters. So we'll have God, the serpent for Satan, Adam and Eve, Noah and his family, and the people of Babylon. And then it's going to give us a plot summary for Act 1. So it can be summarized in 3 phases, which would be God's good creation, humanity's fall into sin, and humanity's ongoing rebellion. And then it will go over the week 1 of the readings. And so then we'll get into scene 1. So it's going to go over creation, and then we're going to have week 1, day 1. So as far as on the weeks in here, so Act 1 is basically going to be 1 week, and then Act 2 is going to be weeks 2 through 39, and Act 3 will be weeks 40 through 52. And they're not real long, so it's super easy to read each day. So it's going to talk about identify the order and rhythm of the rest of your weekly patterns. And then it'll go over the reading portion, and then it will ask you, how is God the hero in Genesis 2? And then what does the passage say about the nature and beauty of marriage as God designed it? So I like the way that they've got this laid out. Then we have a single column on the layout. We've got the black text, but then we've got this nice shade of blue on there, and nice wide margins in this one. So we've got 1.5-inch margins, so you can take plenty of notes. You can put all kinds of cross references in here, and even the inner column here, there's a ton of space in there. So I would love it if all Bibles had this much room in the gutter. The layout is great on this one. So the first day, again, you just have this page here and that page, and that's it. So if you can't make time to read that much scripture per day, then you really need to tweak your schedule and do something different, because every one of us should have time to read that much per day. Then for day 2, because it's chronological, you're going to go into Psalms, and then it refers you to part of John 1:1, and then that one there will say, to read Genesis 1:1 again in light of John 1:1 through 3, and take a moment to worship Jesus as the creator of all that is. So I think that's pretty neat the way that they've got that laid out. So it's kind of a different layout as far as a one-year Bible or a chronological Bible, but since it's not set up for like days of the year, you can really start this one anytime that you want. So the only thing I could find said that it was about a 9-point font, and it does seem like maybe a 9, could be 8.5 to 9. I'm not exactly sure, but it is very readable, because this does have actually a very nice paper to it. And then one thing that you can see here, so we've got the day 2, which is a very short reading, and then you have all this space at the end, so you can take tons and tons of notes in this Bible with those nice wide margins. And you can see that each one of these days, that's not a lot of scripture to read. So we've got some stitching here in the gutter, so nice sewn binding. And then we're going to get to, so we're going to have, each week is going to have 6 days, and then you're going to have day 7, which is going to be prayer and meditation. So that day will also give you, if you do get behind, that's a great day to make up some of your reading. And then we get into God's covenant people, which will be Act 2. So that's going to be the majority of the Bible, because here is where we start Act 3. So I'm going to give you a shot of that. So Act 1, you can see, is pretty tiny. Act 2, that's the majority of it, and then Act 3 is this back section. So I do really like the way that they've laid this one out. I'm doing a different reading plan right now, but I do think that I will use this one afterwards. Now there are 2 ribbons, so they're pretty basic. It's just a single-sided satin. One is brown, the other one is red. So they're not fancy ribbons by any means, but it's still nice that it does have 2. And for a $40 Bible, you really can't expect fancy high-end ribbons, because then the price is going to go up. But I do really like the colors that they used in this one. So there's our second ribbon, that red. So it is nice that it does have 2. But the colors with this blue, I think that is very pretty. They did a really nice job on this. The paper and the print quality is excellent. We're going to get back to the back of the Bible. So we get to the very end there, and then we're going to have a scripture index. So if you did want to find a particular part of scripture, you could come to the back and be able to find it. Now, I would not recommend this as your standalone Bible because it would be pretty hard to find any particular passage, or you wouldn't want to take one like this to church, because if the pastor said, hey, turn to such and such, it's going to take you a lot of time to do in this one. So this would be a Bible that I would recommend in addition to your main reading Bible. So we've got our scripture index. Again, it says it has a concordance and it don't, but that's no big deal. I don't ever really use a concordance. Then we're going to have 8 full color maps. So these are going to be your typical Holman maps. They are on a satin finish paper. They've got a nice border around them, so if you did want to take some notes on them, you can. So our typical maps here. One thing we can see there is we've got the stitching, so nice sewn binding. But I do really like the layout, the way they've done this one. And there's the rest of the maps. So really nice imitation leather cover. I'm impressed with that. I'm very impressed with the print quality and the paper in this Bible. The paper feels very nice and the print quality is great. You know, I did not quite check to see if this was line matched, but it does appear that it is. Those pages there are all line matched, so really a good print quality in this one. So again, this one is the Day-by-Day Chronological Bible. There's the ISBN number. Retail is $39.99, and I did check today, so that at the time that I'm filming this, you can get this for as low as $20, which is incredible. So I think it's a great idea for every Christian to read the Bible in chronological order at least once, and because that just gives you a different way of looking at it, and it's very, very nice. So I do really like the way that Holman did this one, and I would definitely recommend this one. All right. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.